Hello, and welcome to Radio NIGP. It's the time of year where the holidays offer opportunities for reflection and thanks. Your Radio NIGP team is thankful for your continued support of our work, but most importantly, your role in public procurement. You need to know that your work is important to your team, your agency, and the people you serve. So grab your eggnog, your hot cocoa, or your own drink of choice, sit back and enjoy this episode of Radio NIGP.
Hello, I'm Barb Johnson, and I want to wish you happy holidays and share with you a story from Radio NIGP called How Procurement Saved Christmas. Our lead writer was Stacy Gregg with a heavy dose of help from the rest of the staff. Keep in mind, this is a great group effort. We have a story about an eventful day that the procurement team rallied to keep trouble away.
Barb was at work with her team all around, while Radio NIGP played in the background.
The Grinch eyed the contracts with a sinister grin. He planned to disrupt before Christmas could begin.
He snuck into the warehouse, silent as the night, swiping all the purchase orders, gone from sight.
Bobby, the procurement pro, walked into a mess. The supplies are all missing, she had to confess.
Charlie from logistics tried to track every crate, but the Grinch had hidden them in a faraway state.
Brooke in finance saw the numbers looked wrong. Without those deliveries, our timeline's too long.
Dan in his wisdom called up every vendor, trying to find replacements for the gifts that they would remember.
The Grinch thought he'd won. Procurement in disarray. But Barb had a plan to save Christmas Day.
She gathered the team, and we worked through the night, using creativity to make everything right.
George found local suppliers willing to rush, and Ginger drafted new contracts without any fuss.
Stephanie from IT set up systems anew so they could track every gift and every SKU.
And Christy in warehousing checked every bin, ensuring each present was ready to send.
Linda and John negotiated deals so fast, they made sure the holiday cheer would last.
The Grinch watched in awe as we turned it around. The spirit of teamwork was totally profound.
I smiled as the gifts were finally all packed because we wouldn't let a Grinch put our holiday off track.
Don from shipping got every sleigh loaded and the delivery schedule quickly recoded.
Kirk and quality made sure all was intact. No broken toys on my watch, he tactfully backed.
Mike in customer care sent updates galore. The gifts are on their way, just like before.
Kevin in planning mapped out the new route, avoiding the mountains where the Grinch hid out.
The Grinch, seeing our efforts, felt his heart grow. He returned all the contracts. He just couldn't say no.
Together we cheered as the last gift took flight. Procurement had saved Christmas, all in one night.
Barb resumed listening to her favorite podcast. She heard a closing message from none other than Keith Glatz. His voice was exuberant as he exclaimed with glee,
"Happy holidays to all. This is Radio NIGP."
Hi, from Dusseldorf. I'm trying my mulled wine. Wish y'all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm enjoying myself. Prost.
It's the holiday season, and that includes New Year's Day. Know that your team at Radio NIGP is looking at 2025 and planning to bring you even more public procurement material to help you with planning for the start of a great new year.
Buffington here with Radio NIGP. And I'm so excited to once again have Shanda Carpenter with us, our Director of Content and Research. And we are going to talk about something that you may think is a ways off, but is much closer than you think. And that's Forum 2025 in Denver, Colorado. Good afternoon, Shanda, and welcome to Radio NIGP.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
So, first off, let's talk about dates, because it is early and people need to kind of click in on that.
It is. It is happening July 27th through the 30th. So it's a month earlier. So a lot of the things that we do are starting a month earlier. So really keep your eyes out. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming soon.
Okay, great. Speaking of coming soon, I as one who has presented multiple times at Forum, the call for presentations has already been released, correct?
Yes, it was released on December 4th. Now it's going to be open until January 6th.
Okay.
So take some time, go through it. You have a little bit of time, but again, because Forum's a month earlier, we're having to do this earlier than we have in the past.
Sure. Great. And I think you mentioned before we started the recording, you talked about scholarships.
Yeah, so stay tuned. In the next couple weeks, we will be releasing the Forum scholarships. Now, those will be December 17th through January 24th.
Okay. All right. Do you know, have they released the hotel information and registration yet, or is that probably going to be later on in January before that's all available?
Yeah, I think that's going to be probably very early February.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it should be coming soon. And the other thing to keep in mind when you look at the call for presentations, we always change it up just a little bit each year, right?
Right.
So we have our learning sessions, which are 75 minutes. You can do foundations or advanced. But this year we put a few more themes. We have our cornerstones of procurement, which we always do, and our leadership. But we also added essential skills. So these are things like critical thinking, communications, problem solving. We also added technology. And a new one is stories from the field. This is really about sharing lessons learned. So I'm really excited to see what submissions we get for that one.
That's a great idea. So a member who really has been through something that both impacted him or them, and that they learned something from, could share that experience in one of those kinds of sessions.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we also have our workshops. This year, they're going to be 2 75-minute sessions. Last year, we were a little bit longer. So essentially, I'm gonna have to break there. I forgot what I wanted to say. Yeah, so 2 75-minute sessions. So you could do something like one session is the knowledge, and the second is an opportunity to do activities. So there are those available as well.
Okay. So lots of opportunities for different types of presentations besides the typical, here's a PowerPoint, I'm going to walk you through something.
Yeah, we are live streaming everything again. It's all going to be recorded for on demand again. And so what happens is there's the in-person audience, but you also have this virtual audience. So we're really encouraging folks to develop engaging content. We can use polls. There will be NIGP staff there to assist folks. We'll take questions from the virtual audience. So definitely, we want to engage folks. We want to have opportunities for dialogue with the in-person and virtual audience.
Okay, great. And this is our 80th?
It is our 80th. Yes, forum. So we will be celebrating that during this time.
Any secret confidential information about the special event?
I don't have that information, but
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Carrie Winter heads up the planning of forum, and she always does an amazing job. So I would say just keep your eyes out for more information. You're going to see a lot coming in the next month or so.
Okay. Well, great. Shanda, thank you so much for sharing with us and making sure everybody is aware. We're a month early this year for Forum. So put that on your calendar and get started and get ready.
Yeah. January is the deadline.
Great. Anything else you'd like to share?
No.
Okay. Sorry. Well, let me wish you happy holidays on behalf of Radio NIGP. And thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. And happy holidays to you as well.
And out there, again, this is Kirk Buffington, and this is Radio NIGP.
Hello, and happy holidays from the Shenandoah Valley. Here's a special note from me to you and yours. Something told the wild geese it was time to go. Though the fields lay golden, something whispered snow. Happy holidays to you and yours. Wishing you peace, kindness, and gratitude in the coming year.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a special segment of Radio NIGP with myself, Valerie Scott, and my colleague, Tara Acton. And we are going to be talking about how we appreciate our employees. Around this time of the year, whatever types of holidays you may celebrate, there's a lot of talk around gifting and how you get the perfect gift for someone to show them really how much they mean to you and that you appreciate them. So I think when we spend a lot of time trying to get the right gift, it's because we want people to know that we care and that we think about them and we want them to feel appreciated. And if you're in a supervisory role or a management role, you may want to do something for your employees to show them something extra about how you care about them and recognize them, see them, and appreciate them this time of year. I have done some things such as funny post-it notes or funny notepads just to kind of keep people, keep some levity in the workplace and give people something to giggle at in their day-to-day work. Or, giving people a coffee mug, always the same coffee mug. Everyone gets the same thing. No special treatment here. I've taken my team out to lunch at times. We've just had a team lunch and enjoyed the gathering time and being together. And that's something that everyone on my team feels appreciated by when you feed them and we get to be together. And we do have a small team. We only have 9 people on my team. And I know that's not always feasible. Tara, what would you add?
I think it's funny that you shared you only have 9 people on your team because I have 10 on mine. So the whole time you were talking, I was thinking, these are things I've done. We're pretty similar. So I actually like personalized gifts too. So I've been able to find, one that I like is personal creations, where you can get everyone the same mug, but it has their name. Or you can get a 2024 ornament that has their name on it or something. So just a little token to say that you appreciate them. When I first started with the county, we only had 5 employees. So it was really easy to do things like that. Now that I have 11 total on my team, it starts to get more expensive. And so I think realizing that you can't always do everything that you want. I love the idea that gifting, whether it's personally or with the people that you work with, it is a way just to show appreciation. And this time of year, it often feels like it's a way to say, we know that you've worked hard all year. And I don't know, for our staff, things kind of sort of slow down usually around December a little bit. And so it's a time for us to have fun. We usually try to do a Christmas party. A lot of times we'll even just do it as a potluck so everyone can show off their skills if they want to. This year, I'm actually hosting a Christmas party at my house, and I'm a little nervous about it because my entire team is going to be at my house. But I just think the focus on the appreciation, and I liked when you were talking about everything being the same. I think that's one of those weird things that you run into as a supervisor, is making sure that we keep saying gift, but we're not gifting anybody anything throughout the year, or if we are, we're making sure that it's the same gift, because you don't want it to seem like just because you know someone a little bit better that maybe you're showing favoritism to someone. And then it brings me to this idea that it's not just this time of year that we appreciate our staff. And so there are lots of ways, even if you can't personally finance a gift at the end of the year, that you can show your staff that you appreciate them year round. And then maybe at the end of the year, you give them a card or something that just says, hey, it's the end of the year and I appreciate you. And that doesn't cost hardly anything at all. But you can do things like support them professionally. If you have a training budget, make sure that they have opportunities for training. If you don't have a training budget, look for opportunities for free virtual training. I do one-on-one meetings with my staff, like just giving them of your time and sitting down with them and talking through goals. So I think we have to be careful sometimes when we think about it as gifting, or if we just think about it like, how can you show appreciation at the end of the year or year round? Do you have any thoughts on sort of throughout the year what you can do, or no cost gift options, appreciation options?
Yeah, you had so many good points packed in a short period of time there. And one thing it made me think of, so we use a lot of the Sherry Harley candid culture approach here at the city. And I have these cards that I was gifted when I became manager to help me manage and build my relationship with my team and with people who report to me and with other leaders across the organization. And one of my favorite cards in the deck, whenever I have someone start new on the team, or even occasionally, I just like to go back and recheck with people. But the question is, what makes you feel appreciated? So I think sometimes we assume what will make people feel appreciated, but that's actually not how they best receive that at all. And the funny thing about my team, every single person's like, I just need like a good job from you every now and then, or some, feedback on, if I do something really well, the fact that you see it and you acknowledge it, like that's the most meaningful thing you can do. So I think it's really important to take the time and understand, what each individual person needs to feel appreciated, because that might look different for different people. And I think the more that we build that culture within the organization and the group, and everyone starts to understand each other in that way, it really drives a culture that works really well for the whole group and can change the dynamic and help retain people because they just feel good about coming to work every day.
I love that. I was thinking, we do birthday celebrations in my office, and I've intentionally not been part of the planning because again, as the supervisor, I don't ever want the appearance that because I planned something for someone and then did it differently for someone else, that there's a favorite. But it was so interesting when you were talking through that, because we have a couple people that are like, I don't want my birthday acknowledged. Like, it's going to make me very uncomfortable to sit in a conference room with cake and have everyone staring at me. And I love that the folks on my team that have taken that on, they'll send the message out to everyone else in the group and be like, I don't want to pick on anyone in particular, so we're just going to say Bob. It's Bob's birthday, but Bob has specifically said he really doesn't want to do anything big for his birthday. So we're going to take up a gathering, and if anybody wants to contribute to a gift card, we're just going to leave him a card on his desk. And so I think even that means more than like the big grand gesture, because they actually feel more seen. Like, okay, they didn't make me feel uncomfortable. They didn't bring everybody into the conference room. They didn't take me out to dinner and expect me to give this big speech on what I'm doing for my birthday, because I'm not doing anything. That's just not what makes me happy. So I really appreciate that. And I think we each have to get to know the people we work with and the people we work for, because it's the same thing. Like, I like to get gifts for my boss on boss's day, but I need to know like what would make him uncomfortable, or what might feel like too much. So I think it's all about the relationship and really getting to understand what makes people tick, and then figuring out like, okay, well, how can I work with that? How can I do something that helps them feel seen?
Yeah, that's so funny. So this is so relevant, and this just popped in my mind. But last night I was watching reruns of Seinfeld, and there's this episode where one of the characters is in the office, Elaine, and there's a cake for everything, and she absolutely hates it. She loathes it, and then she kind of gets treated like an outcast when she's the person who doesn't like the cake. And so I think it's funny, but it's a life lesson in the real world.
Yes.
Like, just because we think that's what people should like, it might not be.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, thanks, Tara. I think this has been a great discussion. I always love hearing your perspective, and I know I have some ideas about what I might do to appreciate my staff in the coming year, and I hope our audience has taken away some ideas for themselves to apply at their own organizations. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Happy holidays. Bye.
The holiday season is a time of giving, reminding us of the joy found in generosity and in the impact of thoughtful contributions. In public procurement, this ethos takes on a unique form centered around service, collaboration, and creating value for the communities we serve. At its core, public procurement isn't just about contracts and compliance. It's about delivering solutions that enhance the quality of life for citizens. Whether it's ensuring clean water, maintaining safe roads, or supporting education, public procurement professionals give back through the dedication to securing the best outcomes. The Christmas season provides an opportunity to reflect on this vital role and embrace the mindset of giving. It reminds us to prioritize transparency, fairness, and inclusivity to ensure that every decision benefits the greater good. Now, some things to consider. Thoughtful selection. Just as choosing the perfect gift requires an understanding of the recipient's needs, effective procurement requires thorough market research and stakeholder engagement. Building relationships. Strong supplier partnerships mirror the personal connections fostered during the holidays, emphasizing trust and mutual respect. Long-term impact. The best gifts are those that last. Procurement decisions should similarly focus on sustainable, long-term solutions. As procurement professionals, we can extend the spirit of giving beyond the holiday season by fostering innovation, embracing community-centered practices, cultivating professional growth within our teams. Every RFP, contract, and supplier relationship can reflect the generosity and care that defines the holidays. In this festive season, let us celebrate the many ways procurement professionals give back through their work, delivering solutions that improve lives and strengthen communities. The Christmas gift of giving reminds us that procurement is much more than a transaction. It's a commitment to bettering the world around us. As we celebrate the holidays, may we carry forward the lessons of generosity, thoughtfulness, and care into our profession and beyond.
Thank you for joining us for the December edition of Radio NIGP. Be sure to come back next month when we help to lay out plans for hitting the ground running in 2025.